Welcome everyone. We have Dean Jones with us in Pakistan, and we're glad to have him back. Dean Jones, for the second time in 3 drafts, is in Pakistan. The first time he came to the draft, he did not have a visa and was almost sent back to Australia. So, coach, how does it feel to come back to Pakistan with a visa this time?
Well, something about coming to Pakistan makes it as always difficult, because I had a problem recently, and of course, Stephen, coming in, we couldn't get into Lahore last night because of the fog and the smog, etc., and we were delayed for well over 15 hours. So something about me coming to Pakistan is a problem. But anyway, look, I'm here. Thankfully, and inshallah we'll pick a good team in the next couple of days.
Yeah, so regarding the team, we've been receiving a lot of questions, people asking us whether we're picking AB Devilliers up, whether we're picking Virat Kohli up.
Yeah, I've picked him. I got him. I got them both.
You got them both.
Virat Kohli is cheap.
Oh, okay.
Got him. Just got him on a nice little contract. He'll play 5 or 6 games for us. He'll be fine. Yeah. I'll bet him 5, 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mispar's got about 3.
And what about AB Devilliers?
Well, we might need a keeper, so we'll bat him at 7, I think. So
do you think he's good enough to get into our team?
Maybe. I tell you what, though, we have some fun, but they're amazing cricketers. Haven't they pushed this game to another level? And AB Devilliers, that 100 he scored against the West Indies in the World Cup at Sydney is the greatest knock I've ever seen. It just surpasses Viv's 184 not out against England in England. They're just pushing. These guys are pushing the boundaries, aren't they, of T20 cricket, one-day cricket, and it's just great. I don't know what gets in their minds at night when they go to bed or sitting down and we'll try this shot, or I'll do that shot, or I'll do this shot, or I'll do that shot. It's just bizarre how good
shots
they are.
we've never seen before.
It's great. May it continue.
So things that we've never seen in cricket before. I'm going to try and play a clip here. So Dean Jones is batting against Waqar Younis, and Dean Jones will describe what happened next. Dino, how did it feel to play that delivery? And now Waqar is with us at Islamabad United.
Which delivery is that? I faced a lot of deliveries from him.
The one which nearly broke your toe.
He's pretty good, those guys, weren't they? I got a few runs, but they got me a few times as well. Look, so this is the point about bowling over 140, or in these cases 150 kilometres an hour. You got to really look for release points. So release points is this, folks. The earlier he lets it go, the fuller and the more it will swing. The more he holds onto it, it's the shorter. So after facing many of the West Indians, they're trying to hit you in the head. Whereas the Pakistani boys, Wasim and Watta and Imran and these boys, that they're trying to knock your toes off. And it's difficult because reverse swing is not like conventional swing, because conventional you can see it coming and then you just play it. This thing's going like that, and it's really difficult. It just goes straight in the last minute like that. So believe it or not, folks, we look for the rotation of the seam of the ball. And if the seam is standing up like that, and I look for the darker side of the ball, so if this is a ball now and that's the darker side's on this side, it'll go this way. If it's around the other way, it'll swing the other way. So if they can hold it in here as much as they did, the Pakistanis, I said to them, sooner or later you're going to have to take your hand off it, and I'm going to see it. So, but 150 kilometres an hour, Watta was just ferocious.
Yeah, so we have Waqar Younis with us as team director this year, and we had Wasim Akram with us, and someone like a Rahman. How important it is for someone like a Rahman, because he worked under Wasim Akram, learned to bowl with a new ball. Can you imagine him improving his game under Waqar?
This is the great thing, though. I hope this is what I've tried to do with the coaching, is surround these guys with greats, not just really good players, but greats. And Wasim is obviously a god, and Watta is probably he's the fastest guy I've ever faced in an international match. And then to see him run in, I was lucky enough to face Michael Holding and Malcolm Marshall and these guys, but see him particularly when he was younger, running in and bowling 150 clicks was scary, yet it was great. Exhilarating. And this is the stuff, albeit Rumi Rahman is not that type of player that he bowls like Watta, but the little subtleties, the way the grip of the ball, the release, and doing little stuff. And also, don't forget that He was also a great death bowler, Wacker.
Yeah.
And then, so we're just putting those guys together and let them talk their stuff. You know, I don't know what bowlers get up to. They're weird people, bowlers. But we're trying to surround them with really quality people. Yeah.
So, Coach, coming to the draft
Yeah.
tomorrow, we have the PSL Draft tomorrow, and in
Doing the stats.
doing your stats,
Yeah.
doing your numbers. Coach, what exactly are you looking for? Since we've retained 10 players, what is the idea of this 11?
Well, I must say, without being controversial, that I think this draft is a little bit weak to what we've had in the past couple of years for overseas players to look at.
Yeah.
It's great that the Pakistan team's flying, so we've got guys with really good confidence, they're doing really, really well. But it's just a little bit weak because a lot of the teams, as you know, countries are playing a lot of cricket at that stage.
Yeah, so there was no World Cup qualifiers planned in the FTP. West Indies are now playing the World Cup qualifiers.
And Afghanistan is.
Both of them are top T20 teams.
Zimbabwe, of course, and all these. So it's difficult to, because there's little diamonds in the rough in those teams.
Yeah.
And it's proven with Rashid Khan.
Yeah.
It was a good pick to go to, and Muhammad Nami, we've seen him already in the PSL. But you know, there's a couple of really good players in Afghanistan, but we can't play them because, we could pick them.
Yeah.
We might pick one.
We could.
We might pick one.
Yeah.
Might throw a little, needle in the haystack.
Yeah.
But I've got my eye on a couple of them. But it's just it just works out the balance, what I believe that and our team and talent identification needs to get the right blend. And we've got our theories. And we're not going to budge from that. We'll change a little bit on theories. I like winning power plays, folks, winning the new ball, but also I like to win the last 4 overs of a match as well. There's a new trend now that's starting to happen. It happened in the IPL, that the team winning, shutting teams down from the 7th to the 15th over is now becoming a major important thing now, particularly with the Sunrisers Hyderabad with Rashid Khan doing a great job in that. So that's a very important stage of the game. They're all important, but I still got my ideas. I like to win the game right from the start.
Yeah.
So we've got to get the right batsman, the right mould at the top, and then the right new ball bowlers as well. We don't want to give teams a flyer with the new ball. So that's what we plan to do.
So, folks, just to tell you a story on Dino saying that he likes to win matches up front. So, we were playing Watta and they required around 8-9 runs in the last 2 overs.
Yeah.
And Dino was walking all over in the dressing room, telling everyone to arrange a practice session in the morning, next morning. And suddenly we ended up winning, and Dino saying, no need for practice, we are doing really well. so he is, just walk us through those last 2 overs, Rahman and Sami's 2 overs.
Well, we're under pressure at the time, and I thought we're just about done. But the great thing about those 2 boys is they're not never done. They never ever give in, and that's another little points. When you profile players, we look at their strike rates, economy rates, and we also look at a couple other things that you can't measure. Their attitude, about what they do for the other team, what they do for their teammates. Are they prepared to put their own career on the line for their teammates? Do they win? Have they won premierships, championships? Those little things that we look at and to look at a profile. And we've got a process that when we look at, don't we, that we 4 or 5 players, and we've got to pick one certain player. We go through which guy will suit when we go through our tick points. So in Australia, interestingly, or in America, if you have one spot available and there's 2 players vying for that spot, do you know, folks, the first thing they do, the psychologists say, you got 2 guys, the same talents. Yeah. What's the first question they ask? Did that boy or girl come from a happy family or a broken family? And if he comes from a happy family, they pick him because that kid is prepared to work for the family, whereas a lot of kids that come from broken families are only worried about themselves. So there's that psychological things when you've got to make sure when you pick your right guys. But Rumi and Sammy, and we were thinking about, as a coach, I'm always trying to be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to think, okay, if we get beat here, I want to do this tomorrow. And because we get, was it 13 days or 11 matches in 28 days, we haven't got much time for practice. We haven't got, you got to keep the guys on edge a little bit, on bubble, and it's like training a racehorse a little bit. So I was saying to the guys, we're going to have a practice match tomorrow. I want it. This is not right. And all of a sudden, Sammy and Rumi just bowled brilliantly, and we end up winning the match. And now Quetta, they don't like playing us. They really don't. Neither does Peshawar, because our records have been pretty good against them. But it's because, yes, they've got to have great skills, but the attitude that they will not throw in a game when everything's all gone, and I think that's what this is about. This is what this badge is about.
So, coach, coming to the draft and the emerging player category, and every year, the owner Ali Naqvi advises us that you have to pick some guy who in the next 2 years goes on to play for Pakistan. In Shadab and Rahman's case, they've been fast tracked into top players, right? So this year we'll be looking at some players. What exactly are you looking for in a young player this time around?
Well, it's an exciting time, because obviously I haven't seen a lot of these guys. I know you've sent me some vision. I do my own vision on certain players, young kids that are coming through. I look for a kid that obviously can play. He's got to have the skills, but and the fact is, we will play them. We will give them responsibility. Whereas other franchises haven't done that as well as what I believe what we've done. So if we pick, and we have to play one guy, emerging player, in the 11. That's part of the rules, that he's got to actually carry his own weight. He's got to do his own thing, So
we've ended up playing 3 or 4 at the same time.
One time we played 2.
We played 4.
4.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. So just because you're an emerging player doesn't think that I'm going to sit on the pine and not do anything. Not in my team, you're not. If you don't think you're good enough to play, well, you're not going to get picked. But the thing I look forward to is really good attitude with these kids. And I listen to some of the old blokes and blokes like yourself and Hassan, etc., to actually find out their stats and what they're really like, what's their attitudes are like, the family background, all that type of stuff. And then we'll go and pick which guys. But we're not just picking them to make the numbers. No. You've got to do your job. And we will play you.
So, coach, we're talking about team playing as a family, right? And putting your own stats on the line for the team's good. And you told the entire team that if it's the last ball of your innings, you have to keep running. And we've seen Shadab Khan get run out like that. We saw Saeed Ajmal in year 1 take 3 runs when there was a run on offer, and we ended up winning that match by 2 runs. So, how important it is for your players to listen to something like that, because these are international stars who might not be willing to throw their wickets away. But how has been the experience so far in the Islamabad United dressing room?
Well, it's been fantastic, and I'm learning off them as much as they're learning off me, and we've had other greats, like we've had, of course, Watson and Haddon and these guys, and the Darren Berries have been a very good coach in his own right. That these guys to throw ideas out there, and it's the 1%ers of the difference that can win your games. Now, just to let you know, folks, that I'm not here for averages. None of the players are there for the averages. Sure, we'd like to look at the little 1%ers that are players prepared to put his career on the line for his team. And we brought up the fact that why is it that a batsman stops running off the last ball of the first innings? Why don't they keep running until they get run out? Because they're worried about their averages? Because we don't look at averages, as you know. We look at strike rates. This is the thing we look at.
We look at strike rates, we look at...
And how many fours and sixes, all these different little stuff that we come up with. But the fact was that Saeed Ajmal, #1 bowler in the world for many years, sits back and say, if I bat, I'll keep running. Well, he kept running, and then the bowler fumbled, and he threw it the other end, and then they got back, and they pinched 2 runs that they should never have got. And it was amazing. And what happened? We won the game by 1 or 2 runs. So, and then the first thing he said, Saeed Ajmal, to all the players, hey, I listened. I listened. And it's, as a coach, for us, we can't bat, we can't bowl, obviously, but we can change their thinking in a way to be a little bit mindful of what the team should do and forget about we don't do it in 50 over cricket. Even now, the 50 over matches, the team batting first, there's 6 down for 310. Just keep running until you get run out.
Yeah.
I saw it in India just recently. The players don't do it. So they're the little 1%ers, sacrifices that we want our players to do for the team.
Yeah. So, Coach, just to wind things up, one last thing on the draft. So, are you going to give away any names on this episode?
I remember when the first draft was done, and we picked our squad, and we were really happy with our squad, and there was so much work was put in. The what ifs, what if they picked that guy, and we're certain, so we've got to pick this player. So there's a lot of what ifs. So we've got that pretty much planned already up to now, haven't we? So, but the fact was, everyone was celebrating. Everyone was happy with their team. We were very happy with ours. But I felt very sad, because there was 50, 60 kids sitting in the back that never got picked.
Yeah.
And everyone was wrapped and clapping hands, and I sat there by myself and I looked up at, and those kids realised that, I didn't get a chance this year.
Yeah.
So maybe one or two of them might get a chance for us.
Okay.
And that's what it's about. It's gut-wrenching, because you're dealing with people's lives. And and it's just not a kid's life. It's, he makes hopefully some good money, then we'll send it home, like a Talat, for example. Talat. Now I'll tell you a little story here, and I don't mind sharing it. Because we didn't what we call activate him in the first year.
We couldn't according to the rules.
We couldn't under the rules, but we wanted him. We could easily have sent him home, but we wanted him to be part of it.
Yeah.
And the fact was that he couldn't get paid. So under the rules and the laws of the PSL, he was here for nothing.
Yeah.
But when we won, and we got the prize monies that came in, we all agreed that every player gets an equal amount.
Yeah.
And he got an equal amount, and the boy was in tears. So he had something to take back home to give to his parents and to his family. So we're well aware that we're not just helping a player; we're out there helping families, and it's a huge honour to play for Pakistan, but it's also a huge honour to play for us.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make these players get better and better every year. We want this player to come into the Islamabad family, and after 5 weeks we'll experience something great. We're going to pull them apart and put them back together and make them bigger and better, stronger and faster, and say that was an experience I needed to have to make me grow as a cricketer. And I don't want Islamabad United to be just a franchise, just guys going through the ropes. I want the guys, whether it be overseas, hoping, geez, I hope Islamabad pick me, because I hear that they do good things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we look after you, not just as a cricketer, but as a person.
Absolutely. So, Coach, you've been in Pakistan many times. You've shared dressing room with Pakistani players over the last 2 years in the PSL. Just how many Urdu words do you know? Any particular words that...
Only swear words. And a couple of ekdo, tincha, panch, is it choro? Choro?
Yeah.
Little, just a little.
Yeah, chota.
Chota. There you go. Just a little. Yeah.
That was Shadab's name in year 1, by the way.
But he's not there.
Yeah.
He's not there.
That's how you remember that. Yeah.
Chota a little. Yeah. Just a bit of tika, acha, anji, all that type of stuff.
So any swear words?
No swear words. Nee. Look, it's becoming Asia, like it's 150 times I've been to India now, 40 odd times to Sri Lanka. I'm in my 30s here.
Yeah.
And how many times we've been to?
How old are you, Coach?
I'm really old now. I'm starting to feel it, Dad.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Pleasure.
Looking forward to the draft tomorrow.
Shukriya.
Shukriya. That's another word that Dino knows in Urdu, and we are very thankful to
Jaldi chalo, okay.
Yeah, jaldi chalo. Let's just wind this up. So that was Dean Jones, and best of luck to him, to us, to all of Islamabad United fans for the draft, and all the other teams for the draft tomorrow. And we hope to see a great PSL this year and more matches coming back to Pakistan. That's it for this episode of Watta Fast. I'm sorry I'm replacing Ahmed Naqvi. I hope he's back for the next episode of Watta Fast. Thank you so much.